Hi, this is FUAD ABASOV, a broker with Right at Home Realty, and this is your monthly real estate statistics.
Happy Easter, Chag Sameach, and Ramadan Mubarak to all who observe this time of the year. Spring is in the air, and fierce competition between buyers started to re-emerge in March as the average home prices in GTA ticked above the average list price for the first time since May 2022. Interest rates remained unchanged for the first time in a year, which brought more buyers to the market just in time for spring. It seems as GTA real estate prices hit the bottom and surged higher in March for a second month in a row. Prices are still down compared to the peak of January 2022. However, the trend is turning. New listings are up, average days on market has decreased, list to sale ratio is up, all signifiers that something has shifted and the market has come back to life. For most of last year, there was no real competition. It was pretty dead when it came to real estate and when homes were listed. No one knew if it would even sell, but March proved a different trend. While increasing mortgage rates have recently helped reduce home prices in many parts of Ontario, they still remain high compared to prices just a few years ago. Having said that, the market is always shifting, and prices can differ drastically according to where in Ontario you are in. Housing market is adjusting to mortgage rates that are nearly tripled what they were a year ago. However, home buyers don't have an abundance of options. Inventory remains tight in many markets and is at historic lows. Although there are bidding wars happening everywhere across GTA, many home buyers are still sitting on the sidelines, ready to make a move. As population growth continues at a record pace on the back of immigration, first-time buying intentions will remain strong. Because the number of homes for sale is expected to remain low, it will also be important to have substantial rental supply available. Hence, real estate remains an excellent investment. Feel free to contact me for real estate investment questions.
Now, let's take a closer look at detached home sales in Toronto and surrounding areas.
In Toronto, an average selling price of detached home did not really change from February and is sitting at $1.71 million. Compared to last year, the amount of properties sold went down by 37%, the amount of new listings went down by 40%, and average selling price went down by 10% compared to March of last year. In Vaughan, an average selling price of detached home compared to February went down by around $70,000 and is sitting at $1.84 million. Amount of sold properties compared to March of last year went down by 40%. The amount of new listings is also down by 57%. An average selling price went down by 10% compared to March of 2022. Richmond Hill, average selling price compared to February went up $60,000. Compared to March of last year, amount of sold properties was down by 40%, amount of new listings went down by 51%, and average selling price was down by 3.65%, which means that the prices are identical to where they were last March. An average selling price of detached home in Mississauga compared to February went up slightly by $20,000. The amount of sold properties went down by 37% compared to March of last year, the amount of new listings went down by 40%, and average selling price went down by 11% compared to March of last year. An average selling price of detached home in Markham compared to February went up by $90,000 and was sitting at $1.81 million. Amount of sold properties compared to March of last year went down by 28%, the amount of new listings went down by 53%, and average selling price went down by 9% compared to March of last year. An average selling price of detached home in Newmarket compared to February remains unchanged and sitting at $1.31 million. The amount of sold properties compared to March of last year went down by 18%. The amount of new listings decreased by 52%, and average selling price went down by 14%. In Aurora, an average selling price of detached home compared to February went up by $90,000. The amount of sold properties compared to March of last year went down by 2.78%. The amount of new listings went down by almost 50%, Average selling price was down by 16% and is sitting today at $1.65 million. Innisfil, an average selling price of detached home in March compared to February went up by $60,000. The amount of sold properties went down by 37%, the amount of new listings went down by 24%. Compared to March of last year, average selling price went down by almost 25%. In King City, because of the low amount of sold properties on the market, the average selling price of detached home fluctuates from month to month. In March, it was $2.52 million. Compared to last year, the 63% decline in sold properties, amount of new listings went down by 11.5%, and average selling price compared to March of last year was down by almost 30%. In Bradford, an average selling price of detached home compared to February went up by almost $50,000 and is sitting at $1.17 million. Amount of sold properties compared to March of last year went down by 36%, the amount of new listings went down by 58%, and average selling price compared to March of last year is down by almost 21%. In Milton, an average selling price of detached home compared to February went up by almost $90,000. The amount of sold properties compared to March of last year was down by 29%, the amount of new listings is down by 56%, and average selling price compared to March of last year is down by 17%. An average selling price of detached home in Stoufville went up by $20,000 compared to February and is sitting at $1.5 million. The amount of sold properties compared to March of last year has not changed. The amount of new listings, however, went down by almost 42%, and average selling price compared to March of last year is down by almost 22%. Barrie continues seeing decline of detached home sales. In March, an average selling price was $811,000, $50,000 decline from February. Compared to March of last year, the amount of sold properties went down by 28%, the amount of new listings went down by 42%, and average selling price compared to March of last year is down by 22%. While geopolitical conflicts, supply chain issues, and financial market uncertainties continue to cloud economic outlooks, the wider view often presents a balanced perspective. Piece of advice for buyers. Timing the market is very hard, but there are a few general trends to keep in mind. One is that, as the interest rate hiking cycle nears its end, as market pricing suggests it will, cash starts to become less attractive compared to risky assets like stocks and bonds and solid assets like real estate. There are few who deny that a recession is clearly on the horizon, but for those with equity, savings, and confidence in their job security, who are also tired of keeping their plans on pause, this could be the time for a move. As for the sellers, those who have properties they want or need to sell, my advice to them is definitely not to wait. The momentum has returned. Might as well catch the wave.
If you'd like to receive your own personalized sales report about home sales in your neighborhood, please email me at sold@fuadhomes.com or call me at 647-801-3401. Thanks for watching and see you next month.